This is your gaming weekly news. One of Xbox's final exclusives from Obsidian Entertainment, the fantasy RPG Avowed, just got reviewed by critics, journalists, and content creators like myself. And reviews came in fairly well. Right now, the game is sitting at an 80 on OpenCritic and Metacritic, meaning it got a ton of 10s, a few 9s, and a ton of 8s and 7s. I reviewed the game on my channel. You can check that out here. It got an 85 out of 100 or an 8.5 from me. Some of the review roundups say, like VG247, giving it a 10 out of 10, saying that role-playing games come in all shapes and sizes and they really appreciate what the game did. They also said it's so immersive, gleefully unashamed of doing whatever it can, first to deliver a fun and memorable world and noodle around in, close quote. Digital Trends gave it a 9 out of 10, saying that Avowed is the best RPG they played since Baldur's Gate 3. Inverse gave it a 9 as well, saying it's clear that Obsidian has once again prioritized quality over quantity. But IGN gave the game a 7 out of 10, GameSpot gave it a 6 out of 10, some complaints being that the story wasn't exciting enough or writing wasn't good enough. Even some prominent content creators stating that Avowed was a broken, buggy mess, saying that they had over 30 crashes, 3 or 4 save states completely broken and bricked, especially those that played on PC. I didn't hear any complaints about the Xbox Series S and X version, people that reviewed it on there. I played the game on the Xbox app on PC. It turns out the Steam version of Avowed, which is normally the best version to play on PC, was outperformed by the Xbox Windows PC version. I played over 70 hours of Avowed on the Xbox Windows PC app, and I had a nearly flawless experience with one crash my entire time. And I had 2 moments where I couldn't complete a quest because the loot was underneath the ground and I just reloaded a checkpoint. Tech experts Digital Foundry claim that the game is a fairly polished and well-polished and flawless game on PC. The review score for Avowed will probably settle in and around 80, but 80 or 82 is about what I predicted, and my score of an 85 is fairly close. And that's why we're talking here about Avowed, because I have a full 22-minute review. And there is a controversy that is already swelling. People are so convinced that this game is a broken, buggy mess. It's DEI woke slop, and I've got to cover this head on because I didn't want to spend time in my actual review talking about the nonsense of an outlier of people who are banging on a drum and waving a banner to get games like this canceled. Now, I don't say a lot about this stuff because I keep politics out of my videos. My opinion is that Microsoft or Obsidian should have fired him or reprimanded him, but what they did was they silenced him. He hasn't said a word since he made that stupid remark, but what he did was put the entire studio, the game, and all the staff in danger of seeing a failure with their game. Well, sort of, because right now Avowed is sitting at the top sellers on Steam and the top selling on the Xbox console. And this is really good because this is the pre-release $90 Ultimate Premium Edition that you get 5 days early before anybody can get the game normally or play it for free on Xbox Game Pass. But I do expect to see a little bit of a turn with word of mouth as some people who play the game will reach out and say they really are enjoying it, because I really did. The other controversy that I had to deal with is mostly internal on social media, on my YouTube channel, comments, and other forums. People were calling anyone who praised Avowed woke, DEI shills, paid by Microsoft, paid by Xbox. And this is super hilarious because people who just come to a video and just jump in the comment section immediately without, I'm not going to listen to the comment section, they really make a fool of themselves, because there are many gripes. I had some 10 major gripes that I had about the game: story, pacing with the story, the characters, the low production cutscenes. There were no cutscenes for the most part. And some of these things really took away from the game feeling like a 10 or a 9 for me. But I had so much enjoyment. And this is something we forget in this community, that sometimes a game can be super enjoyable. If you can possibly ignore some of the stupid things that some of the creators or directors have said and, just shut your mouth and make a game, that would be fantastic if you could do that. And I'm totally on the side of people who don't want to hear things like that, or they don't want to feel like they're not wanted or needed in the community. I think that's super important. Let me talk about the woke DEI slop thing. They were on a massive crusade to get Avowed canceled because there were pronouns in the game, just like Baldur's Gate 3. That has pronouns in it, but you make a male character or a female character, it defaults to he or she, and you have to select over to them. As far as the woke DEI slop, there was nothing in this game. There wasn't any preaching or there wasn't any talking down. In fact, the writing was really witty. It was quite smart, took itself more seriously than I thought it would, especially by looking at how the game looks. Yeah, I really liked Avowed, and 85 is a great score, and you'll probably end up enjoying it if you're willing to give it a chance. PlayStation finally arrived in the gaming news with a state of play that I call the state of multiplat, and they had a massive showing of almost 30 games that are mostly all coming to Xbox and PC. Mostly to Xbox, actually, and thanks to VGT Gaming News, they curated a full list of the state of play news by showing all the games that are coming to PC, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and PlayStation VR. 22 out of 27 of the games are on PC and Xbox. A couple of those games that are excluding the Xbox console are just DLC content for games that already exist anyway. But there were some breakout hits, and if you're a PlayStation-only fan and you're looking forward to seeing what that roadmap is for the PS5, what PlayStation first-party has to offer you, you're going to have a long wait because there was only a couple of first-party games like Soros from Housemarque, who made Returnal. This is a spiritual successor. This looks really cool, but we didn't see actual gameplay yet, but they're actually trying to launch this game sometime in 2026. And to add insult to injury, Days Gone, the game by Ben Studios, a PS4 exclusive that came out in 2019, just 5 years or 6 years old at this point, is already being remastered. We'd heard about this before, but to hear it official really made me laugh out loud while I was doing the stream with Gaz from Septic Sauce. It's crazy to see that PlayStation continues to give you games you bought and played just a few years ago and selling you a remaster, trying to float those along. Shuhei Yoshida saying, if you don't buy these PlayStation remasters, how can we make you brand new games? There's a couple of games I want to outline or highlight here from State of Play that are coming to Xbox. If you're an Xbox fan, you're looking forward to all the myriad of games that are coming, even in 2025 and beyond. There are some really great games. A side-scroller Shinobi game from Sega is making a re-emergence. This time it's an illustrated style side-scroller to go along with the new Ninja Gaiden game that's also side-scroller. We also have Ninja Gaiden 4, which is coming. We have so many games that feature the katana sword coming in the next year or so. It's absolutely fantastic. Shinobi looks really cool. That also shows us Onimusha, which looks really, really great. This is a long-standing franchise, one that I've never played, but I'm super impressed with the presentation here. This game was shown at the State of Play. It's coming to Xbox. It's coming sometime in 2026. That's really got people excited as well. An interesting piece here was that Borderlands 4 was shown with a 1-minute trailer of new gameplay, and right out the gate, I can tell you, I didn't love Borderlands 3 to death, and this looks just like Borderlands 3 with new characters. I wasn't super impressed with this. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. Borderlands 1 and 2 are some of the best games ever made, but I think Gearbox has kind of watered down that franchise at this point, so I'm keeping real highly tempered expectations for Borderlands 4. And they gave a release date for September, which has everyone wondering if Take-Two has their own franchise, Borderlands coming out in September, where is Grand Theft Auto 6? I covered that in last week's video. Check that out. And I could go either way where Grand Theft Auto 6 is being in 2025 or pushed to 2026. So there were a couple of really standout games that got their showcase at the State of Play. And if you're on multi-platforms or you're just an Xbox fan, you can look forward to Tides of Annihilation. This game looks so good. It's like Bayonetta meets Final Fantasy. It's made by an Asian studio. It has incredible, gigantic graphic presentation. And Tides of Annihilation looks like a hit waiting to come out. They say right now it's coming soon, so possibly this is a 2026 title. I can't wait to see how this looks on PC and Xbox. Another big surprise was Mind's Eye, which looked like Cyberpunk meets Driver meets Just Cause, an open world action-adventure third-person shooter and driving game made by one of the creatives from the Grand Theft Auto series. Now, I'm super concerned about this game because it says it's coming out in the summer of 2025. Then if you reveal a game in February and you say it's coming out in just a few months, like ready to release when you first see it, that has people wondering, are we going to be looking at another Rockeye City or another game that just looks really, really polished and produced and ends up being like a 6 out of 10 or a big letdown? But from what I'm seeing here, it looks like something that would be really, really enjoyable. I hope the best for this team. We need more games. We're really lacking sandbox action-adventure games this generation. And for a long time, we haven't had a big city game like this other than Grand Theft Auto, and that's another long wait.
The search and rescue one. systems are malfunctioning. They're attacking us.
I thought we were looking at Marathon. I thought that Bungie was going to show Marathon and have it ready for 2025 or soon after, or maybe open up betas for it. We all want to know what this first-person or third-person looking shooter would be, and this is Metal's Edge. It's not Marathon. It looks really polished. It's got high-level graphics. I don't know if it's going to be any good. Let me know what you think when you look at this game. I'm wondering, might be fun, might be one of those games you play for a couple weekends, or it could be a huge smash hit. Who knows? If it's a service-based game, it could go either way. The next generation console has been greenlit. Yeah, that's right. People thought that Xbox wasn't going to make a console, especially after this big multi-platform push. Turns out Jez Corden of Windows Central dug into the information about where they are right now, and Xbox just submitted to Microsoft the plans to start developing the next generation console, and all the way through Amy Hood and Satya Nadella, they have greenlit that for R&D and production in the near future. Jez Corden reports, quote, Xbox doesn't release its figures for active console users, but I would guess that they are on the decline at this point, so users flocking to PC in increasing amounts. Xbox hardware has declined nonstop for several quarters as the firm pretty much stops marketing its products and didn't even bother to do serious sales and deals over Black Friday last year. Xbox is still pledging to build next-gen console hardware though. To that end, I've recently been told that Xbox's next-gen console hardware has now moved past its early pitch stages and has been fully approved and costed all the way up the chain. I doubt that we'll see the reveal of their hardware strategy anytime soon, but what is perhaps more interesting to me is how Xbox will seek to entice developers to support its efforts on PC. So far, developers have completely shunned the Microsoft Store for delivering their PC games, which doesn't seem sustainable if Microsoft is to maintain their own ecosystem, close quote. Jez Corden's talking about Xbox trying to grow their flailing PC platform while also continuing to be in the hardware console market. The rumors are that the next generation console is not going to be just a console. I've covered this in the channel. Check out the videos. They're really well detailed and kind of give you an idea into what could be dreamt up and what will be moving in the future. But the next Xbox console most likely is just truly a PC. It'll have more power, more flexibility, more choice than ever before. And if you're wondering why should I buy an Xbox or why should I just not go to PC, there might be some interesting things in store, and I think Xbox, either way, it sounds like Xbox's next generation is not kicking off in 2026, as originally rumored and talked about with insiders, but is actually cemented for holiday 2027, which puts it a year earlier than the typical console cycle that we've seen over the past 3 cycles with Xbox and PlayStation. Warner Brothers Games is in serious trouble. Warner Brothers Games is looking to possibly sell off some of their studios and segment their market with all of their franchises. Right now, they own big franchises like Mortal Kombat, Lord of the Rings, the Batman series, and DC. It's a big undertaking for that team right now who can't seem to get anything out the door. It was recently reported that Wonder Woman, a game that has cost them $100 million up to this point, was supposed to come out sometime by the end of 2025 this year. And all of that work is being scrapped as they start over, and there's no way at this point that the Wonder Woman game from Monolith Studios and Warner Brothers could possibly make a profit. A report says, quote, one of the company's biggest bets in development, a video game based on Wonder Woman, has struggled to coalesce, according to people familiar with the project. Early last year, it was rebooted and switched directors, and it's still years away from release, if it ever even comes to market. They also were promising to build a new Batman Arkham game, and Batman Arkham would be the true return to form that Warner Brothers needs to take right now as a sidestep with Gotham Knights, which I enjoyed but as an average game, but it's not what the fans want from that team from Warner Brothers. They're still working on Hogwarts Legacy 2, but a Batman game, if they really want to come back to the true form that they were last decade, they have to really inject that with a lot of testosterone and call upon the Frank Miller comics and so much more to bring Batman back to gaming. As far as segmenting their studios like NetherRealm, who makes Mortal Kombat, and could dig their way out of it by selling or segmenting themselves off to other publishers, Xbox has been in the talks with Warner Brothers to purchase all of their studios, or some of them, as early as 2019 and 2020. It's a question mark right now if Microsoft would enter into more talks, as they already own so many studios that they're having a hard time managing them as it is. But Xbox could take on, with their new business model, big, massive franchises and keep them multi-platform and keep them thriving on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. Part of the problem is that studio staff working at Warner Brother Games having a hard time delivering what fans want, but the other problem is funding, and I think if Xbox took control or managed some of those studios, they might be able to alleviate some of that, also with cross support from other Xbox studios that are doing really, really well right now. And that's your gaming weekly news. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're still here, I appreciate your support. Thank you everyone who's been watching the weekly news videos. I appreciate you so much. It's been a very crazy week. I started off the week with the XNC podcast live. That's on demand if you want to check that out. And then I had the South of Midnight preview. That was a 9-minute video where I broke down the goods and the bads about that. That was another controversy I had to deal with. That's another messy one where people are being really, really terrible to each other over a video game. And I know it sounds dumb, but I just kind of wish sometimes we could sidestep some of the political stuff and just see if a game is good or not. Let people enjoy things, I guess. If the game's good, a game just has to be good. Same goes for Avowed. I really enjoyed it. The peers that I talked to really, really liked it. There are a few outliers. That's why the game's an 8 out of 10 at this point. So I don't know. As far as the new Xbox console, keep an eye here on the channel. I'm going to do a full breakdown of some of the new tech and the hardware and some of the software things that Microsoft and Xbox are going to be doing for this new console. It's going to be a total and tonal shift of what they've been doing over the past couple decades. Check that out as well. If you end up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new weekly content. If you want to further support what we're doing here on the Colteastwood channel, because, oh my gosh, I'm going to take a breath. I'm exhausted. A review, a preview, the podcast, and this video. Thank you so much for your support. You can also show that support by hitting the join button below, or you can join the Patreon. All those in the description if you want to check that out and see if that's right for you. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. You changed my life. You're amazing. I love talking to all of you in the comment section. You're so great. Check out the XNC podcast. That'll run every Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And Middle Aged Game Guy and I will talk about some of this news and whatever's coming up for the week when we start out the gaming week next week. So thank you so much. Let me know what you think of this weekly gaming news. How do you feel about Avowed? How do you feel about the controversy? Let me know in the comment section. Keep it respectful. Come on, don't insult people. Just keep it on topic. And as I always say, please be nice.